gonna be alright. Yeah. Cause me and my clique, we don't give a fuck. Trick Daddy, good job today. Good job. If you know that you can get it, let me know. I'm about to break this thing up. Let's go. If you know that you can get it, let me know. I'm about to break this thing up. If you want some, come get some.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of FTW Future Focus. And I am your not-so-humble correspondent, Robert Black. And right above me is the silent but deadly man from Chicago, Illinois. And he has about as much use for women's professional wrestling as I do for cheap sunglasses. He is Marvelous Marcus Buckley. How you doing?
What's up, everybody?
Good to see you, sir. To my side is the fabulous lady from North Carolina. She is the queen of Motown Wrestling Group on Facebook, the one and only Tigress Ty Nickerson. How's it going?
What's up, y'all? And before we get started, check out my new shirt of the day. People, 1 star. Absolute nightmare. Would not recommend.
Sweet. And above the Tigress, right on my catty corner, is the master of wine, women, song, and cigars, the president of Motown Wrestling Group on Facebook, the one and only Tony Motown Allen and his fabulous drinking choices. Is that Coors Banquet?
Coors Banquet, man. This is our 150th episode. Let's get this motherfucker going right.
Absolutely, and Banquet is the way to do it. You know, there's nothing wrong with Coors Light, but I only drink it on Halloween night, because if you do that, then your breath can kill werewolves.
Silver bullets.
Absolutely. And last but certainly not least, the man in the middle of things this week. He is the founder of our feast, the president of FTW Network, my pal and friend, former professional wrestler and promoter extraordinaire, the mastermind Bobby Rogers. How's it going?
What's up? What's up? Check this out. Man, 150 episodes. Thank you for being on this journey with us. It's been a beautiful journey. So thank you for everybody that's tuned in the past and tuning in now. Watch replays. Tell your friends, family, tune in. Also, I got my little bottle to celebrate because it's time. Of course, I'm old, so gotta have the old fashioned. In addition, listen, guys, we got a lot of stuff going on this week. A lot of stuff that hopefully after WrestleMania pops off. So please stay tuned, stay with us, see what's going on, because you might be impressed with what happens with the FTW network after WrestleMania. So, in addition, off of wrestling for a second. Did anybody know that IU has no college basketball players for their team next year?
What?
All of them left. Everybody left. They have no players for their roster next year.
Okay, let me get this straight. Every single member of every single IU team was a senior this year.
Oh, basketball team.
On the basketball team. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
well,
not all
okay.
of them. Not all of them, Rob. Some took advantage of the transfer portal.
Right. So they left the team.
The whole damn basketball team left.
Yes. There is no one left on IU's team.
That means something's going on in that program for you to either. I mean, the graduates is one thing. Okay, yeah, you're a senior, you graduate, that's one thing, though. But for everybody want to transfer the fuck up out of there, something going on.
That is, but I have never heard of that happening. I mean,
It did last year, Michigan.
That is bizarre to me. I've heard of teams like going through a rebuilding phase, but never like replacing the whole team after a season.
Well, this is the thing. The NIL came in and these schools are offering more money. IU is cheap. They're not going to spend no money on this school. Or these students?
Well, I mean, there are other schools that don't play. I mean, traditionally, colleges are not supposed to pay their players, but they have for decades.
Well, no,
Yeah.
now they can.
Yeah,
Yeah, now they can.
Well, they can through endorsements, yeah, but
No,
the university
pay
can't
them. It's
directly pay
changed.
them, can they?
No, they can pay them now.
yeah, now,
Oh.
yeah.
All right, well, maybe I'm misinformed, but still, that is shocking to me.
Yeah, IU don't want to spend no money, so guess what? They got nothing.
Well, considering how much money IU dumps into Bloomington, Indiana, so that they can own the town, it doesn't surprise me that they don't have any money left over for.
It's just like the city of Indianapolis. They don't spend no money. We got potholes all over the place.
Where the money goes, I haven't the slightest idea.
Sure as hell ain't on the
Figure
plane.
out when the hell they gonna come down Central Avenue and fix that shit. It's just been like that for like what? Since what, end of last year?
Yeah. I mean, it's more holes on that street than Tiger Woods golf course.
Yeah.
Man, there's more holes on that street than what Tiger Woods was fucking with back in the day before his wife found out.
And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus.
Yeah, that was pre-wife.
Oh, good
Actually,
lord.
no, take it, but that was post-wife. Because remember, some other ones came out.
Those post-wise ones, what had that motherfucker bagging out of his driveway, running to a fire hydrant, trying to go away from that crazy bitch.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus.
They wasn't bringing out the holes in that one. But anyway.
Thank you for joining us on FTW. But oh my God, we're getting off to a big start already.
Man, when his wife found out, went after him with that golf club, his game hasn't been the same since.
Yeah, because she tore his ass up.
No, his game stopped because he had to stop hoeing. Tiger Woods, is the greatest golfer ever. No pussy getting Tiger Woods suck.
And thank you for joining us on FTW.
You know what? I gotta agree with that though. I definitely
Lost My Mojo edition.
Because when he was getting it.
Man.
I mean, that man was getting eagles all over the place. Yes, this is for the girl last night. What? Hold on. What the?
Thank you for joining us on FTW. That's 5 during the intro. Oh good
God.
Lord. 150 episodes, ladies and gentlemen.
It's the truth, though. Think about it. Tiger Woods was hitting all that, and he was killing the golf game.
He was killing it back when he was giving the holes. He was killing it.
I mean, he's telling the truth.
Well, that green ass jacket must cause something. Maybe it's anti-kryptonite. Who knows?
Oh.
Anyways, our first subject this week. International versus United States audiences for professional wrestling. Is one better than the other? Motown, kick this off. Are international audiences better than U.S. audiences?
Depends on what you got on.
Hell yeah!
Thank you for joining us on Oh boy.
No, international crowds. The international crowds are way better. Way better. Like, in my opinion, you only have a couple cities that can compete with the international crowd. One is Chicago for sure. Actually, it's Chicago. It's the only one I can think of. St. Louis is pretty decent. Yeah. Detroit's pretty decent. But Chicago crowds are the ones that could probably come closest to international crowds. But overall, when you look at all the cities that these promotions go to versus the international ones, international's killing us as far as crowd goes. But myself though, I think the reason is they don't get it that much. So like it's kind of like you get somebody who's had a steak all the time, go to a nice steak restaurant, they're gonna enjoy it, but not as much as that starving motherfucker who haven't eaten in like 2 years. I think the fact that they don't really get it that often is the reason why when they get there, they are fucking lit. But I'm enjoying this European tour that they're doing right now, and the crowd is on point though. So overall, definitely international crowds got it.
Huh. Ty, how do you feel?
After careful consideration and after giving it a lot of thought, I gotta agree with Tommy. The international crowds are way better.
Huh.
The international crowds are lit. Remember when I think what was it? SmackDown? They went to where'd they go last week?
They were in
Italy.
London. This
Were they in
past one or the
Italy
week before?
London? Last week they were in Italy.
Yeah, last week they were in either
Bologna, Italy.
Bologna.
Bologna. Okay.
Bologna. That's what it was.
When Randy Orton came out and everybody was singing his theme, oh my God. The international crowd, that's like the international versus American crowds, that's like y'all asking me which house party would I rather jam to? The 90s, the ones with 90s music, or the one with the early 2000s music? I'd rather go to the party with the early 2000s music because it's more lit.
You suck.
Oh.
Keep in mind, she's way younger than us too now.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. I gotta give her that attitude. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta give
I
her
was
that.
I was a kid in the 90s, but I was a teenager in the early 2000s. So
yeah, so I understand. We will give you a pass on that one because the 90s was the shit, especially with house music.
But it's basically like the international crowds, like Tony said, they don't get wrestling that often. That's like taking a girl who's low maintenance to Cheesecake Factory and she's never had it before. Whereas Little Miss Spoiled Princess gets Cheesecake Factory all the time.
And she's gonna keep getting it until I'm taking her out.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to say is I think international crowds are way more lit than American crowds. Don't get me wrong, some American crowds are lit depending on what cities you're in. But I have to give it to the international crowds. They're way more lit than the American crowd.
One thing I will say about Chicago, though, international crowds ain't starting to chant like, "Oh, scissor me, daddy."
And on that note, Marcus, what do you think?
You just gotta get in once a week, don't you?
He mourns the loss of the chant, is what it is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
God,
Yeah, but I mean, I have to agree. I mean, when you look at the rarity, the rare amount of times that they come overseas, and I imagine all the promotion and the personal appearances that they probably do, compared to a U.S. market. I mean, yeah, they probably got them hyped even before they come there. Now, it's interesting that we're doing this topic this week because, SmackDown is here in Chicago on Friday. So
I can't wait.
Right. So, Chicago, I'm not going to be there, but I think they really are going to be ready to come show out to show on. I mean, we're going to see what happens if Chicago shows up and shows out like the foreign countries do, because they come to Chicago about 4 or 5 times a year. So this whole theory is going to be tested, I think, Friday. But overall, yeah, as of right now, yeah, the foreign cities definitely got it right now.
Well,
I think they are going to the right city though. For after being overseas for like a few weeks, I think Chicago is the right city to like return to the U.S. on though.
Well, that's because Chicago has a mix of international audience. I mean, when we were there for All Out, it was, and especially for Forbidden Door, there were more international, particularly Japanese fans than there were American fans. So,
put it like this: they had more races there than Indy 500.
Okay, then.
I'm just being honest. It was.
Yeah. Well, I kind of agree with you guys, but I wouldn't exactly say that the international audience is better than American audiences. They're just different in a lot of ways. you notice that particularly in the UK and Ireland, the chants are a whole lot different. They're a whole lot more elaborate, more sing-song than they are chants. Whereas American audiences, if they do chant at all, it's rhythmic chants. It's not musical chants. I mean, the stuff for Bailey and that old song, "Hey Bailey, I want to know, will you be my girl?" That shit started in Europe. It didn't start here. At least it didn't start in the main roster until it went overseas, because more people in Europe watch NXT than they do Americans. But that didn't catch on in the main roster after Bailey left NXT until it went over to Europe. But
wait, when Bailey was in NXT, were they chanting, "Hey, we want some Bailey"? Hey, we want some Bailey.
Yeah,
did that a couple of times.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, it's in certain American cities, you're going to get more crowd interaction than you do everywhere else, because particularly places like Chicago, Detroit, Los Angeles, St. Louis, Miami, they're going to be more interactive. New York is a big example, because you get a cross and if you're on the independent circuit, you're going to get a more interactive audience. They're going to be smaller, obviously, but they're smarter. So it depends on how many casual fans that you have in an audience, in how interactive they're going to be. And international audiences are just full of smart fans. It's just how it works. It's not necessarily about the cultural differences. It's more about the smart to casual, hardcore to casual interaction. So it's different. I love American audiences, and I've been in great American audiences for wrestling, but but an international audience just has a much different flavor. So I'm not going to say they're better, but they're different.
I think that difference is kind of like the intriguing part about it, though, because I get what you're saying, Rob, because they're more the singing and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But we don't experience it so much. So it's kind of like when we get that, it's like, man, this is tight.
I do like your analogy about steakhouses and Cheesecake Factory, you guys. But I would almost compare it to somebody who has eaten only homemade meals, and then suddenly they go to McDonald's for the first time. It's almost like that to my eyes. Like if you're 5 years old and you've never been out to eat before, and you go to McDonald's and they've got the Playhouse and shit, that's kind of what it feels like to me.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the first time I ever went to a live WWF event, which was, I've told that story before, but I was like a kid in a candy store until what happened. Anyways, Bobby, play us out on this one.
Let me tell you this. I don't understand it, but America is always number one. I don't care what you say. America's number one. They must be number one. We are the best. We went down in the last few years. We've been terrible. We've been shit. Our leaders have treated us like shit. But listen, we're number one. America is number one. We're the best. We have the best crowds. We have the best toilet paper. We have the best classified files. We can't say that though. But listen, let me tell you this. We are number one. We are number one. I don't care what you say. Those guys, they're going to pay a 25% tariff every time that they sit up there and sing a song. Forget that. Okay? We don't. America first. Okay, I'm bullshitting. Listen.
Wow. Okay.
I'm sorry.
150 episodes, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, God. Oh. Look, man. Let's be real. International crowds got it going on, and there's one factor that I'm going to say that probably is it that people don't realize. Think about when you go to a rich person's party, what happens? They're stuck up, they're stiff, they have a stick up their ass. They don't know how to party.
They don't know how to have fun for shit.
There you go. Now, when you got regular people that go there, it's live. All right?
It's lit.
It's fun. WWE and AEW combined, both are doing this, and this is their fault. Are trying to get the rich people's money here in America. It's like they're forgetting about the common people. That's why the ticket prices are so high. So you don't have as many of the regular people going there letting loose having fun. You got these rich stuck up. Johnny, don't you dare do that. We're out here in public. Okay, mommy, I won't.
He's right.
Instead of the regular international people like, fuck that bloody son of a bitch. Go ahead and yell. You know, I mean, it's the demographic is different because you got more regular people going in the international market having fun instead of having this stuck-up American attitude that we're better and we have to have a stick up our ass and we got to do our proper and shit.
Can I also add the analogy that the international crowd and the American wrestling crowd, to me, the American crowd reminds me is like going to your rich auntie's house, where you go in her house with when y'all come in my house, y'all take y'all shoes off when y'all come in my house. Don't touch nothing. Don't breathe on nothing.
Right. That's exactly my point.
The plastic on the couch.
Yeah, plastic on the house. She bougie. The rich auntie's bougie. Whereas the international crowds, you go to the fun auntie's house and y'all be like, oh, y'all come on in. Y'all come on in. Sit down.
That's exactly my point. You have more of a better demographic of a fan at the actual international shows than you do the American shows. Because American shows are geared towards the rich person who wants to see it live. And it's back to Tiger Woods and the golf clap again. I mean, I'm just saying. Oh my God, that was such a wonderful. That Hurricane was so beautiful. Oh my God. You know, it's trying to get to that point, and that's why I'm saying both companies are losing focus. When it comes to professional wrestling was about common people coming together, having a tradition where they bring their kids and their sons to a.
Did we lose Bobby's sound?
No, we lost Bobby, period.
Oh, no. Well, okay, here, I understand the point that he's making. There are certain segments of the wrestling fandom that are culturally snobbish. Put it that way. It's not necessarily about money, although that is a good point that bringing up that fact. I think there's something a little bit deeper too, in that American fans, specifically smart ones, are more critics than fans, and international fans are more they're more traditionalist fans. They're more into the fact that they want to enjoy the match more than critique it. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Bobby's making an excellent point there, although I don't think he got to finish it. Hopefully he'll be back with us in just a second. It looks like he's having some technical difficulties.
Well, I was right about the international crowds and the American crowds being like they're going over to the rich auntie's house versus the fun auntie's house.
Well, yeah, that is a good example. But it's definitely an exercise in privilege that both WWE and AEW do more shows in America than they do anywhere else. And that definitely adds to the enthusiasm that international crowds have. I mean, to use the starving analogy, if you're starving to death in the desert and somebody throws you a box of Ritz, you're not going to give a shit about how much salt is on them.
You don't eat them anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You're that fucking hungry.
Exactly.
But one thing I will say about the international shows, especially on Netflix, that I enjoy, had nothing to do with the crowds. It had to do with the fact that shit comes on at like 3 in the afternoon. I love that shit. I love being able to get off work, go home, and watch fucking Raw right away. When I'm not up to like 11 o'clock at night watching this shit.
Yeah, well, there's a time difference too. I mean, if you're in an international market and you're airing like the Saudi Arabia shows, if you're airing them at 7 o'clock in the evening in Saudi Arabia, that's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon here. So
that's nice.
you're getting it earlier.
Oh,
I
wow.
think Bobby. There you go.
And I love getting it early, Rob. That's for goddamn sure.
Yeah, that's true. I like getting it early too, but that's an entirely different point entirely. And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. I'll add one to my list. What?
The internet went out here quick.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's weird. It's
All
like
right.
the whole power almost went out.
Okay, well, we'll just to let our audience know, if we do call off early today, it's going to be because there are storms across the state of Indiana tonight. So if we abruptly end the show, it's for security purposes, and that's going to be Bobby's call because he is the head cheese around here. Speaking of head cheese,
Everybody want
head cheese. Poor Steve Blackman, that poor bastard getting stuck with that. Oh man. Yeah. And he could have been such a bad, that's another bone I have to pick with WWE, but we won't get into that right now because we have to get into Edge, aka Adam Copeland, aka I can't cope with cope, not soap on a rope, endorsed by the Pope, with a bar of dope. Nope. Anyway,
Rob, hold on. It was supposed to be a kilo of dope. You gotta get the phrase right. Kilo of dope.
No, not for me because I'm stingy and cheap.
Oh, okay,
I don't buy a kilo of nothing. And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus, the kilo edition. Anyway, should Edge, aka Adam Copeland, have retired in WWE? I think I'll take this one first because I think I may be in the minority here. Big surprise. I don't see why he should have. I mean, Adam Copeland decided that he wanted to get back into the ring. He was cleared in WWE and he had some damn good matches, particularly with Randy Orton. And the fact that he wanted to continue his career someplace else and try to have a revival of sorts the way that Bryan Danielson did, I really don't blame him for. And I know that you guys may disagree with this, but I've enjoyed most of Adam Copeland's body of work in AEW. Now, did the feud that he recently had with Moxley backfire and not live up to expectation? Yes. Did they go about that the wrong way? Absolutely. I'm in complete agreement with that. However, aside from screwing up his leg really bad in that lights out cage match with Black, I think that Copeland has had a pretty decent run in AEW considering his age and the fact that he was coming back from a injury that did end his career for a time. So I mean, would he have had a more complete legacy if he had retired in WWE? Maybe, but I don't see that it would have benefited from our standpoint as fans for him to have just quit. I mean, just to be loyal to WWE, because WWE sure as hell wasn't loyal to him as far as I'm concerned. But the fact that Adam Copeland is in AEW to finish out his career, it doesn't bother me because he's still the same guy. Edge or Cope, which I can't cope with, he's still the same talented individual he was, booking notwithstanding. So I don't have any problem with him retiring in AEW. Marcus, what do you think?
I agree with you. I don't think he should have retired either in WWE. I think for him, the last straw was when WWE's creative took Judgment Day and changed it completely to something he was against. You know, that what was it going to be? Some kind of witchcraft type.
It's more supernatural shit.
Yeah. Some type of stuff. And so I think, and they were only going to use him more as an attraction than a regular active wrestler. I think he wanted to wrestle more often than not. Because what I remember reading that they were thinking about putting him and Danielson more into the creative role, more and less as an active wrestler. And from what the reports, quote unquote reports, said was that he wasn't happy being in creative. He still wanted to be one of the boys. And so I think in AEW, he gets the best of both worlds. He's probably making around the same amount of money, probably. He probably has more say in his creative than he will ever get in WWE. And he's only working a couple of days a week, tops. So with all that being said, I say absolutely. I mean, he's always going to be synonymous with WWE. He's always going to be Edge. He can call himself Cope, Adam Cope, AMC, whatever he wants to call himself. He's always going to be Edge. He's going to go into their Hall of Fame at some point. So why not do what Big Show and Mark Henry on all of them did? Take that money. It doesn't hurt their legacy. And they could come back to WWE if and when they're ever ready to.
Okay. Ty?
I have to agree with both Robert and Marcus. I don't think he should have to retire in WWE. If he wants to retire anywhere else, like AEW, that's his business. I think, after he retires at AEW, he could get into a creative role or be in the same role as Paul White and Mark Henry were in,
Personally, I would love to see guys like Copeland and Danielson in creative roles anywhere.
Yeah, most definitely. Same with Christopher Daniels. I love to see all those guys in the creative role. That way they have something to do and they have something to fall back on. Because a lot of wrestlers got to understand, when you retire, you got to have a backup plan. It's just like when you get fired or you quit your job because, you're either sick and tired of it or, things just ain't working out. You have to have another job lined up, because if you don't have another job lined up, then you're shit up a creek without a paddle.
Or you retire to Walmart, whichever comes first.
Yeah. Exactly.
I would hate to see Edge end up as a Walmart greeter.
I don't want to see him as a Walmart greeter. I want to see him doing creative roles backstage in AEW. That's what I want to see him do. I don't want to see him as a greeter in Walmart. I don't even know if Walmart has greeters anymore. Probably not.
They do. It's just you got to look for them at the self-checkout line.
I do. But yeah, I think Adam Copeland retiring somewhere else, I think it's a great thing for him to do. I don't want him to be stagnant retiring in WWE and not have anything to do,
Motown.
I don't think he's going to retire in WWE. I think he went to AEW for the same reason that Bryan Danielson did. He wanted to do more in-ring, which I don't blame him on. the man is healthy and could go in the ring. He lost 10 years of his career. No, I'm not gonna go out like when you say that, like, hey, you're done, or we're gonna have you do this and do that. You don't want me to do what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna go somewhere else and do it. So I'm not blaming him from
Basically,
going over.
Tony's trying to say Copeland ain't trying to go out like no bitch.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Now
I'm telling the truth.
The only thing I was not happy with as far as Copeland in AEW is just with Moxley though. But other than that though, he's had a good run. I think what he's been doing in AEW has been good. And it's one of those things. I think it's been good on both ends. I think he came in at the right time, especially after all the CM Punk stuff with the Elite. You know, being that veteran in the locker room and everything. I just think it was a good fit for everybody. Like, sometimes you have it like, hey, it's good for this person, but not good for the company, or vice versa. Though, I really think him being over there was really good for the company and everything, though, too, as well as for him. And he got to keep doing what he's doing. And as long as his body holds up at his age, do it for as long as you're wrong. Because once you're done, you're done. Like, it don't really matter what WWE says as far as like when they think you're done. When your body done, you done. So if his body ain't done, keep going, dude.
Well, I mean, at some point it's going to happen, but I'm hoping that when it does, he stays with AEW to be part of creative, and that Tony Khan is not so fucking stupid as to not let him do it. And we've been over that plenty of times because AEW needs a booker that's not named Tony Khan. Bobby.
Well, I'm going to be the minority in this to say he should stay in WWE. And this is why. And I know everybody watching is going to be like, huh? Well, let me explain. When you're in that ring, there's a thing that you want more than anything, and that's your legacy. Not playing off of Cody Rhodes or nothing. I mean, I'm being dead serious. You want your legacy to rule for when you leave to be outstanding, because a person's legacy that lives on forever is worth more than the 5 minutes of fame that you get right now. I understand why he left, though. Back then, you had Big Shitty in there, and, Big Shitty was fucking up a lot of things. And he was doing some things that just wasn't right for the business. But if he would have stuck around and his TKO sale would have happened, I honestly think Edge would have went out legendary a lot more than what he is going to go out now. When you want to leave that legacy and be thought of afterwards, that's more important to you. And I know that is with Edge. Well, it was at least. You gotta look at your directives, and yeah, I got creative freedom over here. I can do flips and do all this stuff, but over here I'm leaving a legacy that people will follow and remember for the test of time. And I honestly think that with him going over to AEW, no fault of his own. I mean, again, we said the two words that really screwed him up, and that was Tony Khan. But no fault of his own. You still suffer the after effects of that. And his legacy took a hit because of that. Some of the shit he went through with AEW was dumb as fuck. And I'm sorry, I like Edge. I think Edge is cool as shit. But the shine off of the damn trophy has been fucking dulled because of what happened at AEW. And I'm looking at it from a legacy standpoint that his legacy is tarnished. Don't get me wrong, his bank account probably fat as fuck. I will not deny that 100%. His bank account probably fat as hell. But when it comes down to legacy-wise, and you go for all time, it's like when Michael Jordan came back for them 2 years. When he went out on that high note hitting that shot with the Utah Jazz, everybody was like, oh, fuck yeah, blah, blah, blah. But now these LeBron bitches got excuses because the last 2 years of what he did. Look what he did when he was in Washington. Blah, blah, blah. And I understand why he did it in Washington, because that was the stipulation to him becoming the owner. That's the only reason he did it. So I get that, but it still tarnished his legacy just a little bit. Just a little bit. Because he did so much till it didn't affect him that much, but it affected him some. It gave that little wave where you could have the argument about LeBron. When it comes to Edge, it just tarnished him hardcore because of what Tony fucking Khan did. And I'm sorry. If he makes the Hall of Fame, I'm happy. I'm happy. At least he can salvage that. But what they've done with him in AEW, which is Tony Khan's fault, has hurt his legacy more than anything. And I don't think he should have went. I would tell you the person that benefited off of that, Christian. Christian was perfect. Christian moved over there and blew the fuck up. And just think about this. What if Edge stayed there, right? Christian would have left, blew up like he did, and then all of a sudden they meet back in WWE, or they both meet in AEW. Well, no, in WWE, because AEW keeps fucking up the story. So, you know, I mean, they both meet back in AEW. I mean, WWE. God dog it. I mean, think about that. Christian blows up over there and comes back. But the legacy part is why I say that he should have stayed in WWE.
All right, Bobby, a follow-up question here.
What's up?
Do you feel the same? I understand your point about Edge, and that although I disagree with it a little bit, I can see your point as to how if he had stayed in WWE under Triple H, maybe he would have gotten to do more. However, do you feel the same way about Bryan Danielson?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
You think that AEW, his time in AEW tarnished his legacy too?
Let me say this. Not to the extent of Edge, though. It was a lot lesser with, you motherfucker, are you eating cereal?
No.
Me?
Damn. I got a taste for cereal right now. But sorry guys. But Danielson had an international appeal that was known before he even got with WWE. You know what I'm saying? That man was known all over the place before he even hit these spaces. So it didn't tarnish him that much because everybody was like, yeah, we know what this motherfucker can do anyway. Fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? He got to control in a bigger portion of a lot of more of his shit than anybody else because Tony Khan liked him, so he let him direct more of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So you didn't have that big of a Tony Khan fuck up influence that you do in Edge's career. You see what I'm saying? So of course it lessens it on him, and he comes out to where it still tarnished him. It tarnished him a lot. But he would have been a lot better off with WWE, especially nowadays. Well, nowadays he really would have got off.
I am not so sure about that. The reason I say that is because as Daniel Bryan in WWE, he was held back so much from what he could potentially have done. And while he was in AEW and active in the ring, he could be Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, and do the shit that he was really capable of. WWE never wanted him to do that, and that's why he, even though he eventually got big in WWE, it was in spite of everything that they threw at him.
Let me say this right quick though. Think about this. And I go back to again the relationships that you have. Who liked Bryan Danielson back then but didn't have power to do anything? Triple H. Triple H loved Bryan Danielson. He thought he should have been coming up more. But guess who was in his way? Vince McShitty. So now since Richmond City is gone and Triple H is ahead of that, I'm sorry. I think Daniel Bryan would have blew up a lot bigger because of the relationship they had and also Triple H liking him that much.
I really don't think so. Just because they got too much star power right now for him to get a run like he did in AEW. Just saying, same thing with Edge. Edge would not be in the title picture if he stayed in WWE.
But Tony, think about what he did without the star power. That's proof enough to give him the star power. That would have been like, there was a gift of it. He blew up like this. What if we put the machine
where they at right now, who they pushing and everything? I don't see it happening.
Him and I'm sorry. I look at Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan, and I think that would be a damn good match.
Who versus Daniel Bryan?
Roman Reigns. They top dog.
Didn't they try that and it like
he was younger though. He was younger. Reigns was younger.
Well, we may come back to this, but
yes.
All right, we are at our tap out of the week, and we will start with the originator of You Tapped Out, Marvelous Marcus Buckley. What do you got this week?
I know most of you guys didn't see it, but it was on Collision. And once again, Dax Harwood, he takes a L. And this time he takes a L cleanly against Wheeler Yuta.
What?
Yuta is not a bad wrestler. And
I gotta get something to drink after that.
And I think this is headed where in terms of storyline. But once again, I mean, the only person that Dax has beaten in a singles match is his partner. That's it. Other than that, he every other singles match he's ever been in, and most of them cleanly. I mean, this is one of the wrestlers they have on the roster, but you look at his record, and there's no indication of that. And I think he's good, but he shouldn't be beating Dax Harwood clean at all under any circumstances whatsoever. I mean, that's just bad. But hopefully, the silver lining in this is that this is headed somewhere storyline wise. So that's my tap out right there.
Okay, Motown. What's your tap?
Because that was a damn good match. It was a really good match. It just, like I say, it took another L.
Yeah, I mean, Wheeler is a good wrestler, no doubt about it. But I mean, I'm sorry, Dax is losing again. That's just bad.
So the fact that it was a good match is irrelevant to the outcome.
Well,
in this case,
in the case that Dax keeps losing again and again and again, now to me, if they're gonna give him a win, it should be against somebody. He should be beating somebody like Wheeler Yuta, I think. But nonetheless, though,
yeah, Rob, his tap out had nothing to do with the match itself, but just how they're constantly booking Dax to lose.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. Motown, what's yours?
My tap out involves Laura Valkyria on Raw. They had her and Bayley in the back, and Jesus Christ, Becky Lynch has been gone, and they try and reincarnate that bitch Becky with this bitch Bayley. Laura Valkyria is all in love with Bayley, and this is her new fucking mentor. And fuck you, Laura Valkyria. Fuck that bitch Bayley. Fuck that bitch Becky.
Laura Valkyria.
We got rid of fucking Becky Lynch.
That bitch is Lyra.
We don't need to incarnate Becky Lynch with fucking Bayley. Fuck them bitches. And fuck Laura Valkyria too. They need to fire that bitch.
They can't. She's got a belt now.
Is it Laura Valkyria? I mean,
fire her. Guess what? Mandy Rose had a belt when they fired her ass.
Well, Laura Valkyrie doesn't have a OnlyFans page, as far as I know.
That's because her OnlyFans are Becky and Bayley. That's her OnlyFans.
God damn.
And look, and the bitch sucks. Look at her as a mid-card champion versus like fucking Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green is fucking phenomenal with that U.S. title. Marva Perry is fucking irrelevant with the IC.
Yes.
Fuck that bitch. Fire her.
That's
Thank
true.
you.
That's true.
Thank you. Now you guys understand me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ty, what do you got?
Y'all, my tap out goes to the OnlyFans model. Okay, so here's a scenario. Let me break this down for y'all. There was a they did a WWE, I think, house show, and CM Punk and Cody Rhodes were engaging with the fans. And all of a sudden, this OnlyFans model, I don't know her name. I really don't want to know what her name is because I don't give a fuck.
I think they didn't release it because they didn't want to advertise it. They didn't want to give her
Well, here's the thing. This is what I didn't like. She tried to grab CM Punk by the ding dong. Same with Cody Rhodes. I'm like, ma'am, it's female wrestling fans like you that ruin the experience for everybody. Apparently, your mama didn't teach you to keep your damn hands to yourself, number one. And two, those two, Punk and Cody, got a whole ass wife at home. So you better be thanking God that AJ Lee and Brandy didn't beat the brakes off your OnlyFans bitch ass.
Yeah.
Well, that might be one of the reasons why they didn't release her name. They didn't want to advertise her, and they didn't want Brandy and AJ to come for her ass.
Well, they gonna come for her ass anyway. Those men are married. You should never put your hands on a married man. I don't give a fuck what the circumstances are. You don't do that.
Not that though, but those are the wrong two wives to fuck with. First of all,
exactly.
You don't want to fuck
with AJ Lee. You damn sure don't want to fuck with Brandy.
One thing that every fan, male, female, or in between, if you're a fan at a live event, you do not touch the wrestlers, especially not in the nether regions. That's assault. That's stupid.
That's like a guy going to the strip club, touching the strippers. You don't do that shit.
Whoa. Hold on now.
My bad. My fault.
Some people have those privileges.
Oh, okay. It depends on what kind of strip club you're in. If they have strict rules like the Admiral in Chicago, then no, you can't get handsy unless
you can get handsy as Club Rio though. That's for goddamn sure.
Like I said, it depends on how classy the joint is and what the strippers are willing to do. But that's
I don't do classy. Classy costs too much money. You can't touch shit. Give me a fucking hood rat stripper that'll let me fill her up for $5.
But
anyway. And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus.
I don't think it's too big, but okay.
$5 foot long, but thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. That's an even 10.
That's what she called it.
Thank you for joining us on it. I'm sorry, Ty. Go ahead.
Anyway, back to my tap out. That OnlyFans bitch shouldn't have never, ever put her hands on CM Punk and Cody Rhodes' nether regions. Bitch, you know better than that, and you better thank God AJ Lee and Brandy Rhodes didn't beat your motherfucking ass.
Absolutely. That a wrestling event is not a strip club, and male wrestlers are not Chippendales. Yeah, don't, man or woman or otherwise, do not touch the wrestlers if you are a fan at a live event. That is an absolute, positively nada. Speaking of live events and keeping in mind our last conversation, my tap out involves the decision that I just heard about today that Jey Uso is not going to be main event of either night 1 or night 2 of WrestleMania this year.
Bullshit.
I don't know
How?
whose idea this was to make this decision, but
Where it needs to be fucking
well, okay. Now we were just talking about this just came over the wire like a couple of hours ago. I read this on Motown Wrestling Group that neither Jey Uso or Charlotte Flair, the winners of the 2 Royal Rumbles, are going to headline WrestleMania this year. They were pushed out of the way by the 3-way between Rollins, Punk, and Reigns, and the Cody the Cena match. Now, we were just talking about the fact that things are different under Triple H. Now, if this was his decision, and he's the one that came up with this idea, then he's making a big-ass mistake worthy of Vince McDiddy. Or it's proof positive that he is not in control of everything. And it pisses me off that both winners of the Royal Rumble have been shunted into a minor role at WrestleMania due to the perceived star power of individuals that are only part-timers at best and glorified celebrities at worst. And it irritates the absolute piss out of me to no end that WWE does not trust or back their regular roster enough to trust them with a main event position on the biggest show of the year. It's ridiculous.
Let me say something right quick. on that.
Go ahead.
I figured this would come up. And it's not my tap out moment. I had 2 other ones, and we'll discuss that in a second. But this, to me, is one of the hardest decisions a promoter's got to make. And the reason why is, it depends on how you want to end the mood of the show afterwards. Which, by them doing this, is telling me a lot.
Yes.
My thing is, this really gives me in the middle of if Jay's gonna win that belt or not.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But at the same time, they could twist that story when it comes to Cody and them on something big happening with Paul Heyman because he's involved with Ball. You see what I'm saying? Everybody keeps thinking when I said Paul Heyman was the GOAT, that I was just saying it, but he is. He is involved with both of these main storylines. Everybody's looking at the catalyst of, CM Punk and blah, 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 blah. It's Roman Reigns and blah, blah, blah. It's Cody and blah, blah, blah. No. This is all about Paul Heyman. And if everybody would stop and really look at everything that's going on, this is Heyman. Heyman is the center of the universe in this. Something's big going to happen. I'm thinking he's going to walk off with Seth Rollins and leave everybody high and dry. But I understand why Jey Uso isn't the main event of one of the nights, because number one, you owed it to CM Punk for years anyway. But pay him now. Number two, yeah, they do got more star power, which sells tickets, which what people come and see, which you want them to stay later on and buy more concessions and things of that nature. There's those who don't like Jey Uso, and there is a contingent that don't like Jey Uso in that position for that title. Well, after one of those matches happens, will leave, and you lose the money. So yeah, I understand why that's happening. Do I like it personally? No. Again, business-wise, yes, I do understand it. But it sucks because you're stuck in that position as a promoter of saying, I want this to happen, but I got this going on, and I got to make a decision. And unfortunately, Jey Uso loses on this one. He does.
Well, Bobby, all of that is fine and dandy, except I've told you before, you, the mastermind, have more creative juices in your little finger than WWE Creative has in their whole Erecta set.
But
I
hold
don't.
on, listen. But you talk about the Erecta set, I would have did the same thing, though. I would have had to.
I would have did the same thing.
Because of the factor of what's going on. Even though I don't like it personally. I mean, I'm just going to be real with you. I don't like it personally. Personally, I want Jey Uso to be on that last slide. But you... Wise. I got to do it. I got to make that money.
But you guys are doing it for a different reason than WWE is doing it. They're doing it out of desperation because they are afraid that WrestleMania 41 is not going to sell out.
No,
and so they're doing this out of desperation.
No, Rob, here's the thing. They asked Triple H about women main event in WrestleMania, and his answer was, I don't care if it's male, female, what it is. The top stories will main event. Whatever the crowd is into the most is the main event. And you cannot tell me the crowd is more into Jey Uso and Gunther than they are the triple threat. You can't tell me the crowd is...
They're not. They're not.
You can hear about it.
I certainly give more of a shit about Jey Uso, and if WWE's marketing campaign was anything near what we give it credit for, then Jey Uso would have enough star power by now to main event a WrestleMania.
But not as big as CM Punk in them, though.
That's debatable.
But
to me.
Did you not hear the fans? Did you not hear the fans?
They don't yeet for CM Punk.
No, they say CM Punk for CM Punk. They don't yeet.
But yeah. Even part-time, Roman Reigns is still the biggest star in that company.
Which shocks the fuck out of me.
Because they're not trying. They don't want anyone else to be a bigger star than Roman Reigns, except maybe John Cena, who it's the same 4 or 5 motherfuckers in the main event every goddamn time because they don't want to push anyone else. Jey Uso would be a breath of fresh air. LA Knight would be a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
But my God, are they going to play these motherfuckers until they're 65, 70 years old and they can't walk like Hogan?
Well,
if they keep moving merch and popping the crowds, yes, they will.
Well, that's pathetic.
But it also depends on if Trump puts the retirement age to 67. So.
I'm sorry, guys, but I would rather watch an outlaw mud show in a rec center with 50 people than ever watch John fucking Cena. I don't care who screams.
I don't say that bad. I'll watch Cena in this a little bit.
Oh God,
I kind of like this a little bit because he climbing on folks.
I'm enjoying this John Cena too. I'm looking more forward to this John Cena than any John Cena seen in the last 15 years. And I would love for WrestleMania to end with Jey Uso winning the title and everybody beating at the end of the day. I want that so bad, and that's the thing I thought I was gonna get when he won the Rumble. But I don't see how you could book him ahead of that triple threat. I don't. Not in a good business as a good business move. No.
And see, this is where I see that a twist is going to happen. I think Jey Uso could win the championship. But guess who's going to come back for it and backlash? John Cena. Because guess what? You could get John Cena over beating Jey Uso. But you can't do that to Cody right now with him and what's going on with the bloodline and stuff. So I see it happening. I just think it's going to happen at backlash. And Jay's going to win it, have it for a month, and then lose it, and then he's going back to tag team.
To me, it's just relying on nostalgia and going to the well with the same damn guys every single year, and eventually it's going to backfire. They can't, right now, even with the Cena match, they can't sell out Mania 41, according to the rumors. Maybe that's wrong, but eventually you got to do something new.
It don't matter how you book WrestleMania. Those tickets ain't selling at them prices. It has nothing to do with what is on that card. That's just overpriced.
Well, it's a catch-22 to me, but
it's a catch.
okay.
To me,
Well,
it's a catch Hulk Hogan that got his shit canceled for $9,500 a suite.
I wouldn't want to meet the Pope for $7,000.
No, $9,500 is what it was at first.
Yeah, I know they dropped. I wouldn't want to meet the president, the Pope, and the Illuminati for that much damn money. You know what you could? There's a hell of a lot of things that I could do with $10,000 that wouldn't involve an idiot celebrity. Thank you very much.
The Illuminati would get you millions if you met them. So yeah, I spent $10,000 on them.
Well, see, you don't meet the Illuminati. The Illuminati meets you, but that's another story entirely.
Meet me. Give me that million. Meet me.
No, thank you. Okay, Bobby, did we get your tap out, or was that your tap out?
No, my tap out is going to come later.
Oh, well, all right. I guess we'll move on to moment. And I'll go first on this one because mine was from Dynamite. And it involved the Swerve Strickland promo against John Moxley. Mainly because I get you. Fine. Moxley is kind of one note right now, but this proves my point in that AEW is trying to gain more storyline momentum. They're trying to do targeted angles. They're trying to do more promos. And to me, that promo between Swerve and Moxley was proof positive that AEW listens to criticism, listens to its audience. That doesn't mean they always make the right decision or that we like the storylines they do, but they are actively listening, which is more than I can say about WWE. So that's the reason why and the fact that Swerve is still over like a motherfucker in AEW, and I think he's going to get the title back from Moxley at Dynasty. So that's my moment for this week. Motown, what you got?
Real quick, I want to know they listen to the fans, so Tony Khan give up the book. Because we've been hearing that more than anything else over the last 6 years.
Well, yeah, but that's more about Tony Khan than it is about the rest of the company. But I can't say that's wrong. I can't say that's wrong. I want Tony Khan out as the booker too. So to your point, though, everything else they're listening to.
Fuck Tony Khan.
No, thank you. I don't swing that way. And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. Motown, what's your
my
moment?
This week happened on SmackDown. It closed out SmackDown. It was a promo with Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and the MVP Paul Heyman. Sorry, Bobby, if this was yours. I thought the promo was really great. And honestly, the part that I loved most in that promo was when Seth Rollins was talking about we did this and we did that, and Roman was like, we died years ago. I did this shit. And he just went out on Seth Rollins. And honestly, when you look at what's been going on for the last 5, 6, 7 years, he ain't lying. It's been more about Roman Reigns than Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has been like an afterthought. He's been Robin. He's been Scottie Pippen. Like, there ain't no we in this shit. It's Roman Reigns. He's the fucking big dog. He's the star.
Why are you going to insult Scottie Pippen like that?
Please, Scottie Pippen's a bitch. Anyway.
Oh, damn.
Scottie Pippen's a bitch who thinks he is as good as Michael Jordan.
Okay, you made your point.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I love when Punk came. The crowd made this shit too. They were into all three. They were behind Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins came out. They were behind him. Then they started chanting CM Punk. Here he come out. They were behind everybody. That London crowd was on point. And I also love when CM Punk found out that he was in the main event. That was a really good moment, and it seemed like a genuine moment between like Punk and Heyman. I think he knew ahead of time, Bobby, that was going to happen. But I just think that Heyman and Punk was just a genuine like man, we fought so long for this, so hard for this. And I think that was the emotions of it because they fought years to get him there, and they finally did it. So that's my moment of the week.
Marcus, I hate to have you follow that, but what's your moment?
Well, mine was also a smart SmackDown. I'm sure all you guys have already guessed it, and that was Naomi's promo. I mean that to me was the best promo she's ever
Ever.
I mean, the WWE's production is better by far than anybody, any other company's. Period. I mean, as much as y'all know, I love Naomi. I was already tired of that glow shit. You know, I'm glad. She's cutting that glow shit out. So now I'm hoping this will lead to her being taken more serious. I think she needs. I at the very least think she needs to get that Intercontinental title. At the very least. I mean, I think I'm now starting to think it's possible she's going to beat Jade at Mania. I think that's, even though she probably gonna get her ass whooped in the process. I'm leaning toward her walking away with the win on Mania. I mean,
I agree. I agree.
She's really showing a whole nother side of her. I'm curious to see her wrestle B-Fab this Friday. I want to see if her wrestling styles become more aggressive and a little bit more violent. I'm really curious to see what they do with her. So, I mean, I think this last month she's been absolutely great, and this new character change, and that's a big but that's my moment right there.
Okay, just to follow up, Marcus, since Naomi is your girl, do you think that her transformation is going to be as radical or as changing as Bailey's was, or is it going to be more mild?
See, that's hard to say because Bailey was the ultimate good girl. I mean, completely role model Barbie good girl.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Naomi wasn't quite that. I mean, she wasn't far off, but I think not quite as much because I don't think she has as long as a road to travel from being a good girl to a bad girl as Bailey did. I don't think.
Okay, Bobby, what's your moment?
Hey, this though, I want to say this for Naomi though. The shit I questioned her being a heel until that promo though. It looked natural for her too.
Well, she was a heel. She's been a heel before, and I thought she was good then. She was a heel years ago on her second title reign.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Bobby, what's your moment?
Oh. Well, I mean, honestly, yeah, it was the Roman Reigns interview.
Okay.
I mean, Tony said it all. I mean, the thing that had me cracking up though was when Paul Heyman started singing Roman Reigns. That had me laughing.
and then when Seth was out there, everybody singing. Seth will put the mic in Paul's face and see if he's gonna sing for him too.
Yeah, that was good. And plus, Roman controlled that whole thing. I mean, it was great.
Roman's grown.
Yeah.
Well, Ty, I'll let you finish this one out. What was your moment?
My moment of the week happened on Raw. I don't know if Jada Parker got in Jimmy Uso's ear or if Jimmy Uso channeled Jada Parker, but he slapped the shit out of Gunther. I don't know who slapped the hardest, Jada Parker or Jimmy Uso. If you ask me, both of them slapped the hardest. Jimmy slapped Gunther so hard, I think my soul left my body.
Wow. Well.
He slapped him so hard. He gave me flashbacks when I was little, when I was dealing with my mama.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I ain't gonna lie about that one. That put me right back. 79th lineup. Whoa. Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's some serious pain.
Mhm.
Moving on. Actually, I'm going to let, if you don't mind, since Kenny Omega is your side boo, Ty, we'll start off with you on this one. Kenny Omega commented on Logan Paul and the context of the conversation that he had was that he thinks that Logan Paul is a good wrestler, that he's coming up, that he wouldn't exactly work in New Japan, but that he doesn't need to because that wasn't the path that he chose. So, did you get to see what Omega said? And did you agree with his impressions of Logan Paul? That's your side boo.
Well, I remember somebody in the group posted this. I don't know if I posted it or somebody else posted it. And I read through this. And I think Kenny was a little bit on the critical side because he did criticize Logan a little bit, talking about if Logan Paul tried to set up in New Japan, he wouldn't last. But him being in WWE, he's basically becoming a star in WWE. But I do agree on the criticism with what Kenny said about Logan being being in New Japan. I think if Logan Paul was to ever start in New Japan, I think he would be laughed all the way out of Japan if he wasn't taken seriously. If he wasn't taken serious, because think about it like this: I think majority of WWE stars, past and present, have wrestled for New Japan or have done matches for them. Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, I think Hulk Hogan,
Yeah.
Matt and Jeff Hardy.
Hogan was an IWGP champion at one point.
Yeah. I know Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, they did a match with them. AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, Wrestle Kingdom 10.
Oh, yeah.
Best match ever. If y'all ain't seen that match, y'all gotta watch that match. AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. I know Jericho, my other boo Jericho, has done matches for them. Wrestle Kingdom 12, Wrestle Kingdom 13. I think the last Dominion. He's also done Wrestle Kingdom, I think 18 with Hiroshi Tanahashi. I think almost every WWE superstar has wrestled with New Japan or has done a couple of matches with them. So I think Kenny was telling the truth regarding Logan Paul being a star in WWE, because I don't think Logan Paul would last not 1 second in New Japan. Those guys would beat the shit out of Logan Paul. Like, for real.
Okay, I'd like to follow up on this one if I could, because I think I'm going to surprise some folks on this panel, and maybe some of our viewers too. When it comes to Logan Paul, I have been extraordinarily critical of the man, but it's not because I don't think that he can't hack it in the ring. Obviously, he's proven that he can. And as Bobby has pointed out, he was trained by Rip Rogers, who knows what he's doing, and it shows. And of the few matches that Logan Paul has had, most of them, if not all of them, not all of them, but most of them, have been at least passable or decent, if not more so. Now, that makes me want to throw up in my mouth to say, because my biggest problem with Logan Paul is that it's too much too soon. He's still green, and the only reason that he has been given the opportunities he's been given is because of his fame outside of wrestling, and that sticks in my craw something awful. And I'm not going to get over that just because the guy can work the mechanics, okay? As far as Omega's analysis of him, I think it's spot on. Paul does not have the chops to work the strong style of New Japan.
Told you, that's what I said. They would
But,
kill his ass.
well, yeah, but as Omega pointed out, he doesn't have to, and he never intended to. Logan Paul is a WWE guy because that's where that's where the big time is. At least in his mind, he doesn't want to waste time with New Japan or with another organization because he wants to make his stack and he wants to make it now. And he thinks that WWE is the best place to do that. And ultimately, for himself, he may be right. But Omega's criticism about him not being able to handle New Japan is probably irrelevant in the face of the fact that he probably would never go there anyway on his own. And he's a showman. Logan Paul is a media whore, and WWE is the perfect place for a media whore. So, as far as Omega's analysis, he's spot on, but Logan Paul is a WWE guy. Because he
would never tell no lies about that. He wasn't telling the truth.
Motown, do you feel the same way?
Somewhat. I mean, right now at this stage of his career, yes. I mean, it's definitely spot on. Not saying it's still gonna be that way down the road. I mean, because there's a lot of guys that have gone to New Japan and been real successful. Like Ty mentioned, I'm the name that kind of popped in my head was Kurt Angle that she mentioned. But Kurt Angle was a star when he went there, and he was a more seasoned vet when he got there. He didn't go there as a 1 or 2 years into the business like Logan Paul is right now.
I forgot to mention that Eddie Guerrero and I think Benoit wrestled for New Japan. Did they not?
Yes.
Okay. I forgot
to
add them.
But a lot of these names that we've seen in New Japan were not like year 2, year 3 in. They put in some years, they made names for themselves and then gone over there. If Logan Paul goes full time, like they're saying that he's gonna do, and work on his craft and improve and everything, I mean he's phenomenal already, but he's still green. What's true today might not be true 2-3 years down the road if he goes full time. So, I mean, today, yeah, Kenny Omega's definitely spot on. I don't think he could do it today, though, but don't mean he can't do it down the road, though. I mean, a lot of those stars that have gone over there, like AJ Styles was, like a seasoned veteran when he got over to
because remember when he joined with Bullet Club?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, he was already a huge star from TNA before he got over there, though. So
he was the leader of Bullet Club at one point.
Yeah, he was he was the leader of Bullet Club. It was him, Machine Gun Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, and a couple other. And this was
Finn Balor at one point.
Yeah, except he went by Prince Devet.
Yes.
And then after Balor left, that's when AJ Styles became the leader.
Mm.
And then when Styles was on his way out, I think my side boot Omega was part of it.
Yes. So was Cody Rhodes at one point. Yeah.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes, Adam Cole, the Bucks.
Yeah, at some point there were just a lot of independent guys from the U.S. that were in Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Hell, they were selling Bullet Club stuff at Hot Topic there for a while.
Oh, yeah.
It was that big. People didn't even know that Bullet Club was wrestling. They just thought it was a cool shirt.
Nah, I knew Bullet Club was wrestling. I just didn't say nothing. I kept that shit low key.
Oh, yeah, you and I knew, but the people that shop at Hot Topic all the time did not know. They just thought it was a cool t-shirt and a cool logo, and they bought Bullet Club stuff, not knowing it was wrestling. That is very, very ironic to me.
You also got to think about this. The American audience. what do Americans like? Guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with Logan Paul, though, I don't think it's a matter of like he can never make it in New Japan. It's a matter of like if he would want to or not.
Well, that's true too. Yes. Marcus,
I
what
think
do you
more
think?
like so it's more like would he, not if he could.
All right. Marcus, what do you think?
I kind of agree with Kenny Omega. Now, the part I agree with is, if Logan Paul, old New Japan, no, he couldn't have made it, because most of the Americans that came over there, they had to go through the different territories. They went to Canada, they went to New Japan to learn different styles before they ended up going someplace big like a NWA, WWF at the time, and ended up going to New Japan during the breaks. But even though I have not seen New Japan since it's left access, let's not forget this current New Japan is more Americanized than any time I've ever seen it. So I think it's absolutely a possibility that Logan Paul could make it in this current New Japan. I think it's absolutely possible. You see guys doing the flips. You see guys trying to be more showman than at any time. You even see the New Japan crowd doesn't even sit on their hands as much as they used to. So this isn't Kenny Omega's New Japan right now. This is definitely getting, I'm not going to say it's completely Americanized yet, but it is moving in that direction. I don't think he'll ever get there. And I think Logan Paul will have to change his style a little bit and get a little bit more aggressive with his style. But I think if he really tried, I think he possibly could. I say absolutely yes. I think he could.
Well, okay, that brings us back to international versus U.S. audiences again, and you do make a good point in that the Japanese wrestling fan is a little more subdued. That is changing some, depending on who they're watching, whether they're watching Americans or homegrown talent. But there seems to be a big difference between Japanese wrestling fans and European wrestling fans. European wrestling fans are a lot more vocal than Japanese, but you're right though, that is kind of changing over time. I don't know whether that would be a positive or negative as far as Logan Paul's involvement would go, but it is kind of evolving. Bobby, how do you feel about this whole thing?
This, my friends, is my "you tapped out" moment.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to be cool about this the way I started.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to sound like an asshole. But I gotta be an asshole. I don't know what the fuck. And let me say this, Ty, I'm gonna say this right off top, I'm sorry. Okay. I don't know what the fuck Kenny Omega was drinking or what medication he got when he was in the hospital. Did they stick something in his IV to fry his brain? I don't know what the fuck he's talking about here, okay? But he wants to try to say, well, he had to go through the G1. He couldn't make it through the G1 because he had to have a ringer every fucking night. Dude, listen. If I went in front of an 8th grade class and played basketball in my shape right now, I would have a banger every night. Now, I'm not a fan of Logan Paul. I respect the man because I know his trainer. I know who he trained through. But in my opinion, Logan Paul personally is a piece of shit. But in that ring, the man has talent. The man has a God-forgiven talent. He was born for this shit. So you know what? Even though I don't like him personally, I'm going to be honest and say, listen, the man does have talent. I don't know what the fuck Kenny Omega was drinking, smoking, smelling, banging. If Rio didn't give him no pussy that day, I don't know what the fuck was going on. But what makes me so fucking mad is when there's a wrestler that seems like they are equal to him or coming up to be equal to him or sometimes on a few occasions better, because I will admit Kenny Omega is a damn good wrestler. He puts on his penny ass, I'm jealous bullshit and try to hide it behind big words and his so-and-so attitude. Logan Paul could probably go to New Japan and take that son of a bitch over. I'm just going to keep it 100% real. And I don't like it when I'm saying that shit. So think about what I would say about somebody that I like. New Japan is a whole different environment to where they are not used to a person like Logan Paul. Logan Paul will be the ultimate heel. The ultimate heel that New Japan would have. He will make so much money being a fucking heel, he would get over fists and handcuffs and win the G1 tournament his first time there. If they didn't, that's the writer's fucking fault. Now, everybody says about, oh, well, look at the old WWE style. They just lay there and they just do a headlock for 10 minutes. Logan Paul don't do that. Logan Paul fits that style very well, in my opinion. Now, is he tough enough to take the punishment that he will receive is the question. Because what doubts me, only thing that doubts me in that situation is Logan Paul with these pussy-ass fucking fights he done had. So I don't know if he can really take a punch or not. But as far as in the WWE wrestling arena, the man has been trained by one of the, probably the top trainer in wrestling history. He clowns, and every time he has came out, except maybe a half of a match, the man has had bangers. What the fuck are you talking about? That this motherfucker got to have a banger every night. He's done that. Don't get jealous because he looks like you and Rio might go to him for some dick that night. All right?
Oh my God! Thank you for joining us on FTW Future.
I'm just keeping it.
Hey, I'm sorry, Bob. I'm sorry, Bobby, but Real is not a fleshlight that Logan Paul needs.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future.
I might have to agree with you on that one. But
oh my God! All this Rio hate. Damn, man. Oh.
I'm sorry, but that pisses me off when a wrestler, and I see why they got problems in AEW because the motherfuckers like him. And I know you love him, Ty. That's your side boo and all that shit. But when he's a piece of fucking shit, he's a fucking piece of shit. And that dude is a fucking Vince McDiddy right now for saying that shit.
Oh, man. Well, Bobby, I don't think he was trying to I mean, he gave
Come on,
Logan
man.
Paul some props.
Rob. Stop. Come on, man. Look at what he said, bro. Look how he said it in the video. The dude was being condescending and being a dick and trying to take jabs at WWE. Because it's not the G fucking one. Fuck your G1. You could barely probably find a G spot, let alone talking about the G1.
Oh my God. Thank you for joining us on FTW Future. Holy crap.
I'm just saying, it pissed me off because we are wrestlers. We are supposed to sit there, okay, well, he's in another company, he does this thing, blah, 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 blah. Not trying to put somebody down like that. And they talk about CM Punk taking fucking jabs. No wonder he's taking fucking jabs. Because they do slap shit like this. But it's okay when Kenny Omega does it. It's okay when the Young Bucks do it. It's okay when that little bitch boy, what's his name, the one to go through fucking glass.
Jack Perry.
Yeah, it's okay when they do it. But when CM Punk does it, it's a fucking problem. No, fuck them bitches. Omega needs to get his head out his ass and become an EVP instead of trying to criticize and be a fucking bitch because somebody came out wrestling just as good as him. That's my fucking tap out moment of the fucking week. Fuck Omega right now.
Fair enough. Right, I mean, anybody who I don't know. We are on this show, we have our opinions about both AEW and WWE, and it's okay to express those. But the tribalism that's going on right now does tend to go a little bit too far, and Omega and Punk both are guilty of that, and a lot of guys are sniping one side to the other unnecessarily. So there's
I'm going to read this to you. All right. This is the thing that makes me so fucking mad. He's clearly setting his roots down in WWE, and that's where he wants to succeed, and that's where he wants to be a star, and that totally makes sense. For the WWE style and what they're willing to do for him, give him time, allow him to grow, develop, get more familiar with his surroundings, take the time to have him have everything up in here in his head to make sure when it comes to time to perform what it is that they rehearsed, what they scripted, that he'll be able to pull it off as though he just showed up to the arena, you know, how the old timers did back in the day, the Terry Taylors and the Terry Funks. Now, number one, there's a whole bunch of bullshit in that fucking message because you're clowning on this fucking style. You're clowning on, number one, you're giving away the fucking back secrets of what goes on in the locker room, which really pisses me the fuck off. He should have his ass beat wherever the fuck he goes when it comes to pro wrestling by letting shit go in the back. And I know, again, Ty, I'm sorry, he's your boo, but your boo should get his ass whooped.
side boo.
Side boo, left boo, right boo, upper boo, I don't give a fuck. He should get his ass whooped. And he's trying to say for that style, like it's an alien infection that's coming around and we should, you know, this is the way I look at New Japan. New Japan is a regional thing. It's not a true international company. It's a regional thing. It's like a territory. New Japan has its own set style right there. You're dealing with WWE that has many styles within it that they either stole, well, they most likely stole.
Definitely stole.
Yeah, but he's dealing with a whole different array of styles there. In my opinion, he's a league ahead of it. But you're gonna sit up there and say some condescending shit like that? No, man, that's bullshit. That's straight bullshit. Kenny Omega should be ashamed of this fucking stuff.
But you criticizing him for criticizing Logan Paul.
Right.
Do you know Logan Paul's gotten that criticism, if not worse, from a lot of people. Because he is a part-timer. He's not there all the time for whatever reason, or like he got there for this or that. He's getting worse criticism than what Kenny Omega just gave.
And guess what I say about them? Guess what I say about them, Tony? The same fucking thing, even worse.
Like I said, my problem with the man.
Really I mean, because he's saying what a lot of people are thinking, because a lot has been said so many times, if not more.
And they full of shit.
Well, like I said, my problem with the man has nothing to do with skill. It has to do with too much too soon, and the fact that if he were coming up from the ground without 11 million YouTube followers, that he would be in NXT right now. Instead, he's getting...
And I think Kenny Omega look at it the same way, because he talked about like the path he's taken and how he's getting famous in the WWE. I think Kenny Omega feel the same way, because Kenny Omega had to wrestle night in, night out, do this, do that. So many guys. Logan Paul has not come up like a good 95% of the wrestlers out there.
Okay, Tony. If you talk about his path to where he's at, I can kind of give you a little bit there. He didn't come up like everybody else. He did have a short
I think that's one thing that Kenny Omega's criticizing. Like, yeah, the path he's taken is good for him, but that's the path he's taken.
But see, this is my point. I think it's different than a David Arquette. He went to wrestling school. He went and trained with Rick Rogers. He went and did the hard work that they do. He just came up quicker in doing that work.
Okay,
Bobby, But it's not just doing the work though. He's not an actor like David Arquette. He's not like this man was a professional athlete. This is what a lot of people don't remember. This man is a professional athlete coming into wrestling.
Okay, nobody in their right mind is going to say that Logan Paul is on the same level of dog shit as David Arquette or fucking Johnny Knoxville. Okay,
Hey,
I will cop to that.
Hey, put the respect to David Arquette's name. He's a former heavyweight champion of the world.
Put some respect on his name.
Oh, God, don't make me puke in my soup, guys, please.
And here's the sad part about it. He's probably not the worst. Vince Russo.
Oh, God, I am so depressed now. I want to stick my head in a toilet and drown right now. But no, listen. But no, nobody is going to sit here and say, and Omega didn't say it either. Nobody's going to sit here and say that Logan Paul does not have talent. What?
He almost did in so many words. He almost did.
Well, okay. You're contending that what he said was out of complete jealousy and that he was being sarcastic when he was giving him props.
He was.
Okay, granted, but I still think that he has a point when it comes to the fact that Logan Paul is strictly a WWE guy, and that if he went to New Japan, he would stick out like a sore thumb because of the difference in styles. Logan Paul is not a strong style guy. He would have to go through a whole lot more in order to be one, and I don't think that he would really want to try.
I
think that's what it is, Rob, though. I don't think it's a matter of like if he could, is if he wants to.
Right.
And he don't.
Because New Japan is not doing as much of the strong styles they used to at all.
Right. That's the other thing I look at.
I mean, this version of New Japan, he has a shot. This current New Japan style.
Yeah, if it was old school,
now for me, though, hearing what Kenny Omega said, and from what I know, I don't know the New Japan. I mean, for me, when I think New Japan, I think strong style.
Okay, when I watched Wrestle Dynasty, the last pay-per-view that they had, the style that prevailed was mixed. They had lucha libre, they had strong style, and when the North Americans were out there, they had a mix of strong style versus indie style. So there is more of a mix in New Japan now than there used to be in the Stan Hansen, Bruiser Brody, and Dr. Death days. That being said, if Logan Paul decided that he wanted to try New Japan on for size, he would have a lot more stuff to adjust to than what he would if he stayed in WWE. I think that's a valid point to make.
Well, I'm saying this. Hulk Hogan went over there and had some good matches. Hulk Hogan could do a fucking Logan Paul camp because Logan Paul is more talented than that little fucking racist piece of shit, bastard, motherfucking, fucking ex-wife looking like a goddamn crack whore.
Hulk Hogan.
Fuck the Hulk Hogan.
And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus.
Speaking of that, Iran, #1. Russia, #1. Hulk Hogan. Pooh. Fuck the Hulk Hogan.
Well, I didn't think we were going to end up in that direction. But holy crap. First Riho, then Hogan, and God knows where we're going to go next.
Everybody, we're going to get off of Riho. She's about like 75 pounds after Kenny Omega finishes.
Oh, thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. My God in heaven. Let's go on to our last segment here, which Bobby, you came up with this, and it was simply titled "Who is Better?" Would you explain what we're doing here to close us out?
Well, I think it'd be a little
I hope
fun.
Randy Rose.
Oh,
That's why I put it on there, because I know how you vote. But anyway.
dear God.
But no, what we're doing right now is we're going to a spot to where we want to know, because Kenny Omega kind of inspired this for me.
Okay.
And we're going to look at who's better. I'm going to come up with two names. This person versus this person, and you tell me. Who do you think is better overall?
Over
Are we
all categories.
Are we just
That's
picking?
right.
Like, you just want us to say who was better and keep it moving?
No, we can explain for a little bit.
Okay.
We got what? 10 minutes?
Yeah,
I just wasn't
something
sure-
like that.
I wasn't sure how
I got
many
3
you
of
had.
them here.
know
I
it's
got
gonna be
3 of them
rapid fire
here.
or
So
what?
I got 3 of them here, so.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, cool. We can get into this.
Yeah, we can elaborate a little bit.
Yeah.
Speaking of Omega, let's start off with him. Oh, Blondie Mop himself. Kenny Omega! Taking on Seth freaking Rollins.
Wow.
Okay, that's a good one right off the bat.
That is a good one.
Ha! We know
I
who
knew
you
we were going her first.
Why y'all gotta pick me first?
Because you go, oh, man.
Goose
Go ahead,
Fraba.
guys.
Goose Fraba.
She's trying to get that lady boner under control.
Boy.
Thank you for joining us on FTW. Oh,
He
good
just
God.
Jackson in control.
Thank you for joining us on FTW. Oh, good
Come on,
Lord.
John.
I'm sorry, but I can't pick my side boot over Rollins. I'm gonna have to go with Kenny.
How do we know?
Sorry, Rollins. You and your shit outfits can go sit your ass down somewhere.
Fashion sense will out.
Team Omega bitches.
Wow. Okay, Marcus.
I'm picking Rollins just based on I think his promos are a little bit better to me. I think Rollins is a slightly better wrestler. I think he wrestles a few different styles better than Omega can. I'm not really a big Kenny Omega fan in terms of his promos. I think his wrestling is great, but his promos are at best so. So just the tiebreaker for me is the promos. I'm going with Rollins.
Rob.
This one is harder than you would think it would be for me.
Oh, wait till we get to the ladies.
Oh, good God.
I can't wait to get on, ladies.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future. Oh my God, that's an even 20. Okay. I am pretty much in the same position that Marcus is, but in the opposite direction. For me, Omega just slightly edges out Rollins, and the difference for me has to do with in-ring style. Omega is just a tiny bit more versatile than Rollins is, and I think that Omega can be a more effective baby face than Rollins can be. Rollins is a much more effective heel than babyface, and anytime they try to make Rollins a babyface, it kind of falls flat for me. So the fact that Omega can be a more effective babyface and that he has a more diverse style in the ring than Rollins does just tips it over the scale for me, so I got to give it to Kenny.
Tony.
This is hard. I agree with Marcus. When it comes to promos, Seth freaking Rollins is better on promos than Kenny Omega. When it comes to dressing, Kenny Omega is a better dresser than Seth freaking Rollins. In-ring work, that's really hard because I do look at Kenny Omega as a better in-ring talent than Seth Rollins. But I gotta agree with Marcus though. I think Seth can adapt to different styles better than Kenny Omega can. And I think that's part of the reason it took Kenny Omega to catch on and catch fire in AEW more so than his earlier days, because he didn't adapt well to the American style. Before I say that who I'm picking on, I will say Kenny Omega going against Seth freaking Rollins. He's going against the only wrestler that I would say made a dumber decision on the woman he chose than Kenny Omega.
Oh, good God.
That is true. That is true.
I'm giving it to Seth freaking Rollins just because how he can adapt to different situations, different wrestling styles, and how he connect. I think he has a better connection with the American fans than Kenny Omega has. Based off what I've seen, because I've primarily seen Kenny Omega in AEW. I know he was fucking killing it in New Japan, and I wish he came over to AEW the way he was over in New Japan. But based off what I've seen in AEW versus Seth, slight as to Seth. But it's close, though. Jesus Christ, that was a good one, Bobby.
Yeah, and it would be a great match in real life. Omega versus Rollins.
It was.
The Bobby, break the tie.
This is so difficult to me. I mean, I don't know who to pick in this one.
I know, because you really don't.
Knew that was coming.
No, and people are saying it because of what I just said in the last one, but it comes to me as this. I look at it as a business manager. Who can sell me more tickets anywhere they go?
Seth.
I look at Kenny Omega, and he could do it internationally, but he can't do it in America. I look at Seth Rollins, and he could do it internationally and in America. More money, less problems. Seth, I'm sorry, he can't dress for a shit. All right?
Can't pick a wife for shit either.
No, he showed.
Oh, good Lord. Thank you for joining us on FTW.
But hey, we can't give Omega that much because he got a 95-pound paperweight himself. So
thank you for joining us on FTW.
At least Kenny Omega ain't fucking the man.
Thank you for joining us on FTW.
No, it looks like a little kid. That's the problem.
Oh, thank you for joining us on FTW. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I'd rather fucking kid than a man.
Ah! Thank you for
whoa.
Holy crap, dude.
When I say kid, I'm talking like over the age of 18. You know, I'm 51 years old. He did 18 was a kid.
Whoa.
18 to 21 is a kid.
That was
ladies and gentlemen,
I'm glad you cleaned that up.
Yes, I'm glad that you
but
clarified that.
I'm gonna fuck the man.
Oh, dear God in heaven. Oh,
I won't fuck the man with your dick.
That's a little deep.
Thank you for joining us on it. Oh my God.
Yeah, but
I'll tell you. Oh man, YouTube is gonna nail our ass to the wall.
But on some real stuff though, Seth Rollins is an overall product that I can sell a lot better than Kenny Omega. I could get more money out of Seth Rollins than I can Kenny Omega. I mean, so I guess I would have to put up with the man for a minute and get my money on and take Seth Rollins.
Who's next, Bobby?
Next one. Man, I don't know which one of these to do because these are tough.
Let's do them both.
Because I'm afraid. Well, we only got time for a couple of them. I'm afraid on one of them, it might not turn out the way I think it is, and that's the one I'm going to go with.
Okay.
Rhea Ripley versus Megan Bang.
Huh.
Who's better?
Well, Right now, I would say Rhea Ripley. And that is strictly based on not only popularity, but on experience level.
True.
It's that one that would be a great match too. By the way, power versus power, and I would love to see that match actually happen. But in terms of overall logistics, right now I would have to give that to Rhea.
Right on. Ty.
Based on, like I said, like Robert said, based on popularity, I have to pick Rhea. Because I don't know how over Megan Bayne is with the crowd. I don't think a lot of people know who Megan Bayne is just yet. So I think with popularity and familiarity wise, I have to go with Rhea Ripley because everybody knows more about Rhea Ripley than Megan Bayne.
Marcus.
For me, I'm not really familiar with Megan Bayne.
That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah, I've only seen one of her matches, and I have not seen her cut a promo yet, so I don't know. I think Rhea has a chance when it's all said and done to go down as the GOAT in women's wrestling. So for me, it's easy. It's Rhea.
See, this is what I was afraid of. Tony, go ahead.
I mean, same thing. Like we know what Rhea could do. We still learning Megan Bayne. So I mean, at this moment, it's easily Rhea.
Yeah, and my pick is actually Megan Bayne. I look at Megan Bayne and I see a lot of potential in her. But you're right, Rhea has proved a lot more than what Megan Bayne has. So I understand those picks. I think we're looking at more of the match and power, but that's when I lost my head and didn't think about the other aesthetics of it, of the career. So that's kind of my fault on that one. But I actually had Megan Bayne down because I think she has the potential to where she don't even need to cut a promo. She just comes and destroys everybody and looks at the camera and walks the hell off.
Who do you think make more?
Huh?
Who do you think make you more money?
Okay, the question is, would it be under my hands? Would it be under AEW's hands? Would it be under WWE's hands?
Under your hands.
Under your hands. It's like you said, like Seth Rollins will make you more money than Kenny Omega. Who will make you more money? Rhea Ripley or Megan Bayne?
Bobby, I keep telling you this. I would rather you book any of this rather than anyone in AEW or WWE because frankly, both of their creative measures suck compared to yours.
Can I answer that question? You're going to be surprised by my answer. Both would. Reason being, I see Rhea Ripley as Batman and Megan Bayne as Joker, a quiet Joker.
Uh-huh.
They would beat each other's kind of like CM Punk versus Seth Rollins type thing. Their arch nemesis. Their number one foe. So they would make as much money against each other because they would be going against each other a lot. And their stories would be intertwined some kind of way. Either far off or directly in between against them in a match. So the way I would do it is, that would be my number one and number two. Okay. Unfortunately, Piper Niven would be, in my office, working with me. But, yeah, Piper would have to come home today. Anyway, but
thank you for joining us on FTW.
But that's how I would have it. Megan Bayne and her will be the number one and number two going at it as right. That's why I looked at it as, them two going to each other.
Okay.
Now, I did a fun one because I think two more that I had is fun. We're going to do one of them. Because I honestly know which way you're going to pick, but I wonder if you would think it could go the other way, though. It is Will Ospreay taking on Montez Ford in a one-on-one match.
Ooh. Oh.
Can I go first on this?
Yeah.
And as I said, I'm going to go first on this because everybody, anytime we talk about Will Ospreay, I say he's the best wrestler in the world right now. So my pick is easy. It's Will Ospreay because he is the best wrestler in the world today.
Okay, both wrestlers are good. Both Ospreay and Montez Ford are good. In ring ability, Ospreay. Promo wise, I have to give it to Montez Ford. Familiarity, I also have to go with Montez Ford. God, this is hard. I'm gonna have to pick Montez Ford.
Okay.
Marcus.
I have to go with Ospreay simply because we have not seen Montel Ford as a single on a regular basis. You know, we haven't seen him work heel. We have not seen him work as an underneath babyface for a whole match yet. I'm not a fan of either one of their promos. I can't stand Osprey's heavy ass accent while only understand every third word that he's saying. and yet with Montez Ford, I can't stand the coonery. I'm hoping that, as he becomes more serious, his promos will get better, as far as that goes. So just based on the fact that we really haven't seen Ford as a single yet, I'm going with Ospreay.
Rob.
Like Omega and Rollins, this one is very, very hard for me. I have always loved Montez Ford's in-ring ability. The Street Profits are a damn good tag team, and they should have gotten their flowers much sooner and much more than what they've gotten. I have to say Ospreay edges him out just slightly, but that's only because of what Marcus mentioned, in that Montez has not had a chance to be a singles wrestler as much as he should have been already. That being said, in another 5 years, if Montez Ford were given that opportunity, he might well edge out Will Ospreay, because Ospreay has been in the business a little bit longer and may have just a little less mileage left on him than Montez does. That being said, as far as the overall promos aside, which presents its own problems, I will have to give the slight edge to Ospreay. But again, I would love to see this singles match. It would blow the roof off something, especially if it were done in the style of AEW. If Montez Ford fought Will Ospreay in AEW, it would be a 6-star match. I guarantee it.
All right, well, let me go ahead and do my pick. I'm picking Montez Ford. Promos, I agree with Marcus on. I don't like the coonery he does, but it's better than Braun. Let me tell you how I bloody think about this. I mean, I get he's from England. I understand it, but it gets on my nerves. It does. Bro, it gets on my nerves. It does, bro. Ability, I think they're equal in the ring. I think they're equal in that ring. It's just Ospreay has a little bit more experience, especially in the singles sector. But I think Montez Ford is not that far behind. I don't think that Montez Ford, because we don't know what he does in house shows. And I'm sorry, you can't wrestle that well in singles matches, which he's done already, if you haven't been doing this like on a house show or you've been wrestling somewhere else off camera in a singles match. You just don't, because it's a different transition between tag team and singles. So I think Montez is getting his work stuff done somewhere and just off camera. I got to pick Montez for it because I can sell him more than I can the brother. He made me more money. And that's what it all comes down to in this business, is money, unfortunately.
Well, the thing is, WWE could probably make more money from Montez Ford if they just got behind him and marketed him like they do other people, instead of putting all their eggs in one basket. And that's
right,
one
bro.
of the things. Yeah, I mean, that's just one of the things that drives me insane about WWE, is that they have this incredible production and marketing machine, but yet they always fall back on nostalgia and quote unquote star power in order to sell these overpriced tickets when they have a regular roster right there that could easily support what they're trying to do, and they just won't do it. They won't make new stars.
I agree with you, bro.
And on that note, I think that about wraps it up for this week's edition of FTW Future Focus, episode 150. It was a hell of a ride today. And on behalf of Marvelous Marcus Buckley, the Tigress Ty Nickerson, Tony Motown Allen, and the Mastermind Bobby Rogers, this has been a hell of a show. We will definitely see you in the future. Come back and see us on YouTube and on Motown Wrestling Group, on Facebook and other platforms. And if you would, hit that James Brown, baby.
Oh!
Hit it. Oh, how you feel, brother? Feeling good. You feel good? Feeling good. It's groovy. There's so much bone, brother. How you feel, man? I feel all right. I'll call your name. I don't want no people to know you're in here. How you feel, fella? That jam. Sure getting down. Look at him. Ha. We're gonna have a funky good time. 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 Let's take 'em up, Fred.